Ccrp Silver Club is sponsored by Ccrp, Digicel, NCB, Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, and JNGI. Older people are important members of any society and therefore have the right to live in dignity in later life. Welcome to the Ccrp Silver Club, a program which seeks to educate, entertain, and celebrate the lives of people 50 and over. I'm Donovan Malcolm. This week on Ccrp Silver Club.
So many seniors are abandoned by their children and the abuse of older men by younger women.
Bob Marley had to do something to outdo Peter Tosh.
The elderly who suffer from cataracts, glaucoma.
This way you can still get the hydration your body needs.
Respect for older people's rights benefits society as a whole. Violations of their rights can lead to exclusion, poverty, and discrimination. Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba tells us more.
We actually have no legislation at the moment. I am very pleased to tell you, though, that because of the lobbying that has been done by Ccrp, that we are probably closer to having a legislation put in place. Legislation begins with the establishment of a policy. And usually the policy is established, you do a white paper, and then you have discussions around it and so on. And out of those discussions will come the legislation, meaning instructions to the Chief Parliamentary Council to draft the legislation. So we don't have a policy, but we at Ccrp been working on something. I mean, people love to wave things, and we do have some ideas that we have been jotting down. But we've been working on this, and Ccrp has been lobbying for this from when the late Shahini Robinson was the Minister of Labour and National Security. And I think that she was very supportive of the calls that we had been making. The cabinet in June approved the idea that we should be putting in place a policy. And so it is being guided by the National Council on Senior Citizens, and Ccrp has a seat at the table. One of the things that we're very, very aware of is the kind of abuse that seniors have to encounter. And Ccrp recently did a poll. It was amazing the results that we got just in 2 days. The amount of persons, seniors, who responded about experiences that they know about. The one that really hit me is the one that speaks to the abuse of older men by younger women who want to get at their funds. But the other thing is that so many seniors are abandoned by their children. The thing is, under the Maintenance Act, which we currently have, maintenance is not only about a child being maintained by the parent, but also about a parent being maintained by the child. But a lot of people don't know this. Or it is that the elderly really have no way of being supported to bring such an action. But when you report it, what happens then? What level of protection would there be for the senior? The abuse is both emotional and physical abuse. Beating them, shouting at them. I grew up hearing people say, my children will look after me as I get older. You know, that's not happening anymore. It's a different kind of child now. And so gone are the days when you expect that your children will look after you. In fact, a lot of children are looking for the elderly to look after them. That is one of the problems. The other problem is the monitoring and advocating for the care homes. One of the things we discovered, and I'm not saying this in any bad way, but they have to be registered and they have to get a license. But most of the licenses have expired and have not been renewed. I just recently heard something where there was a question about what do you do about patients who are discharged from the hospital, but who are still there because the families do not come. One of the other things that came out in the poll is let it be easier for us to send in our life certificates. Banking and financial institutions presume that everybody is technology savvy. The other concern that I don't think we pay enough attention to is the issue of dementia care. A lot of families don't understand what is happening with the elderly when they forget things or they tell you the same things over and over, and therefore that causes some amount of abuse. We're supposed to have community health aides, but if we could have some who were trained specifically to deal with the seniors. There is a lot of work to be done, and we talk about children and the need to protect children. I think we need to use the same approach in how we look at our elderly and how we protect them too. Our country is where it is at because of the contribution of the elderly, and we should never forget that. The Caribbean Community of Retired Persons, who I've been referring to as CCRP, takes this issue of senior citizens' care and protection very seriously. And it is for that reason that we've been working on this for the last 5 years. One of the things that has always been of concern to me is that there are not enough activities. Is there a place where you have a senior citizens center? This is one of the things that CCRP is trying to do, because we have activities for our members, dancing, playing games evenings, outing. There's an outing coming shortly, which is, I think, rafting or something. She was 96. She was somebody who I developed a relationship with because I had met her a couple of times. Here in Jamaica when she was here in 2002. And then when I went to the UK as the High Commissioner from Jamaica, I also had audience with her. I wasn't presenting credentials because as we are a realm country, I was her High Commissioner. And you know what was the funny thing? These audiences last like about 15 minutes. I was in there for 45 minutes. When she finally rang the little glass bell for them to come and escort me out, the aide who was taking me outside, he says, "High Commissioner, I was coming inside to find out if everything was okay. I don't know anybody who has ever had an audience and spent so long." I feel a little sad that a family has lost their matriarch, and I can understand because I have had that experience of losing my mom and my father too. So that is that side. There's this personal response, and then there's a response about what it means to be a realm country when I really want Jamaica to not have the monarch as our head of state.
Coming up, part 2 of the Howard Moo-Young interview. This segment is brought to you by the National Health Fund. It's our nation's Diamond Jubilee, and we reminisce about the 1978 One Love Bob Marley concert with Howard Moo-Young.
I was the only one who shot the entire group of pictures in color, because Stanley Motor brought out the film, color film, 2 weeks before the actual concert. And I remember Irvin Wint, who was a manager, he called me one day and he just said, "Hey, Howard, come here. I give him a role to each photographer. Can you just test it and just tell me how it works?" Let me tell you, all hosts of Rasta, I never seen so many Rasta men in my life, 32,000. It was packed, a packed stadium. You were allowed on the field. So it was the stadium, plus the track, plus the inside. Peter Tosh had the whole stadium at his feet. I know that behind the scenes, something was happening. And Bob Marley had to do something to outdo Peter Tosh. So when he said, "Will Michael Marley and Eddie Seaga join me on stage?" all broke loose, you know. He knew he had it. And then that is when the Michael Manley and, you know, went on there and shook hands and the whole thing. By that time now, everybody forgot what Peter Tosh did. I took out the roll of film on the camera and I put it in my socks. Everybody else went home sober, just thinking about, I wonder how long it will last now. I hope it will last. But you know, between me and you, it didn't last a week. 1 week. That moment is a moment that few people will ever understand what took place. Bob Marley, but I will tell you something. I didn't interact with him too personally, too closely. But the first time I saw him in action was at the hotel in Strawberry Hill. And there was musicians, all of them playing, all of them supposed to be rehearsing, and somebody struck a wrong note. And I heard Bob says, hold on. Somebody struck a wrong note. For somebody to have the band around him, and it's a small place like this, you know, everything, and he just cut. And I realized now that this guy knows his music. There's a lot of talk about who had the best voice. Was it Tosh? Some people say Tosh, and I like Tosh. Some people say they like Bob. Some people might say Bonnie Whaler. But I'm going to tell you something. When you see this three of them perform, and you see Bob sing, you know why people like Bob? Passion, man. He's a good writer. When I show these pictures to certain of my friends who are businessmen, they are so hurt by what Siaga meant to them, or what Michael meant to them, that they actually say to me, you know, Howard, great pictures, you know, but you can't take out Siaga. You can't take out Michael. I said, no, it's Bob I was shooting. Bob was the only person who could bring these two together at the time. And it made a statement. I don't care if it only lasts 2 weeks and after that didn't mean anything, but it made a statement there. And when Bob died, they met again over Bob's funeral of casket. And the writer said that Bob is the only living person who have brought these two people together, both in life and in death. I think it's a good thing that it happened. It showed us what these politicians are made of. All the people who went to that show, they went there with one purpose. And when Michael Manley and Eddie came out and they shook hands, the people clapped. The people clapped because this is what, and this is why I feel that I could walk home that night and nobody would trouble me. That just brought the whole program to a climax. That was a climax. I have one shot of Bob Marley. It won the silver medal in the Commonwealth exhibition in Edmonton, Canada. It was shown all over the Commonwealth. And I had another one, it won a bronze medal. So there I was looking through my files, and when I see the amount of photographers who have passed away, I'll be 80 in October, and I'm saying, all these guys gone in? That Donette Zaka and myself talk a lot because she is a photographer who was at the art school teaching for about 30 to 40 years, and she feels the same way. I feel personally that before these photographers go on, pass away, that they will leave something for the younger people to look at and to look for. And what has happened is that many of these people are just leaving us one by one, and there's nobody to replace them. I don't stop learning it. Every day I get up. Even today, as I talk to you, I just had my third exhibition at Hope Gardens, right, with two other artists. One is Richard Hall, and the other one is Chrislyn Bravo Bisha, who's a lawyer She only started painting 4 years ago, but she's doing well. And I'm encouraging her, all right? And we all had a great exhibition. It's getting a little different now because I see different artists, coming up. And I think they're getting together as a group. But I am still doing it. I'm still doing my photography.
Next, I Care for the Elderly with Dr. Donovan Calder. This segment is brought to you by Quartz. Senior eye care is something that all people should consider as they age. Let's hear more from Dr. Donovan Calder.
The elderly who suffer from cataracts, glaucoma, they will have other degenerative things such as macular degeneration, which used to be called senile macular degeneration, but senile was removed. We also have chronic diseases which have eye-associated problems, such as diabetes. So diabetic retinopathy is very common amongst patients with diabetes. How we classify eyesight, particularly blindness, is reversible or irreversible. The reversible things are like cataracts and some corneal diseases. We can do something about it to reverse it. And cataract surgery now outcome is expected. You're expected to get excellent results once you don't have anything else wrong. Diabetic eye disease is preventable if diabetes is managed properly and early intervention takes place. For macular degeneration, it is thought that, and been proven in some studies, that you get some benefit from dietary manipulation. Low vision is where you have difficulty seeing under normal conditions. So let's say you want to read, you can't see the print, and with the best of correction like glasses, you still struggle. In our population, trauma, which takes up a lot of our time, and certainly in the public area, is preventable. Trauma on the work site, work-related incidents, where people are hammering nails or hammering or using power tools without eye protection, certainly preventable. While I'm an eye specialist, I believe in holistic medicine. So in other words, you're just part of a whole. And so you need to be healthy by being fit enough, eating a balanced diet, avoiding things that are not good for you, like smoking, drinking to some degree, anything in excess, which will interfere with the normal metabolism or stress your body unreasonably. If you so happen to have certain diseases, which is inherited, like sickle cell disease, for instance, 10% of our population has the genes. You need to be screened early, and early intervention can prevent a lot of the sight problem. You want to wear eye protection at all times. Once you go into an environment where people are using power tools, hammering, DIY things at home, we start seeing a lot of people with eye injuries. Just going in the garden, walking through on a plant, scratch them in the eye. For those with things like diabetes, just controlling your diabetes from get-go. There's no such thing as a touch of diabetes. You're diabetic or you're not. Seniors are using all methods now to communicate with family members. This is how they keep up with family members, their grandchildren. They don't have to travel to see the new births, so they look at it on their tablets and so it's good vision is very important. There's been an increasing report about the emission of blue light from the LED devices. It causes some fatigue, and so there are some filters that you can get on your glasses now, which reduces this light affecting you. But you want to give yourself a break. And like I say, it starts from in the youth, because they're finding that there's like an epidemic of short-sightedness. So if you want a population later who are not all visually impaired, then they should start it from young. But as an older age group, just getting a good pair of glasses that allows you to focus comfortably, and just have your eyes checked from time to time, maybe an annual check. But you need to be sure that when you go, you get a comprehensive check, and whoever is checking you knows what they're doing.
natural juices can provide essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Kadeen Harvey of Fruit Blossoms tells us more.
Hi, I'm Kadeen from Fruit Blossoms, and today I'm going to be making a pineapple cucumber juice. And I'm going to be showing you two methods. Now the first one, we're running it straight through a juicer. And why a juicer? We're getting the maximum nutrient amount, the highest nutrient from our vegetables and from our fruits. So we're going to add our cucumber, guys. Push down. And see, we have juice. No sugar added, all natural. This will help us so much more to move about, to do our daily activities. You get more energy from this. We're going to put some pineapples. Now the pineapple is adding this sweetness, natural sweetness to it. Some lime, and yes, it can run through your juicer. Some alkaline. This in the mornings, your body couldn't ask for more. So let's go on to blending, right? You don't have a juicer, we're going to blend. So we're going in with our cucumbers, some pineapple, coconut water, ginger. You're just pouring it in a straining bag. So instead of our processed sugar or anything like that, we're going to add a little cane juice to our mixture. And really and truly, probably you didn't even need the cane juice because of the sweetness from the pineapple. And then we're going to add some lime juice. This is divine.
Infused water is a combination of fruits, herbs, and vegetables mixed into plain old water.
So for those of you who don't like drinking plain water because of the thinking on the taste, it's bland and this and that, we have for you the infused water. This way you can still get your water intake and the hydration your body needs. Here we have watermelon, some pineapple, and here I'm adding some coconut water. Now if you don't have coconut water at home, you can use your purified water or distilled or your alkaline water, and you can add some ginger to this. Now you can also add your mint leaves to this, and you're going to cover your fruits in the water and leave this overnight in your refrigerator. All the nutrients, all the minerals, all the vitamins, everything from the fruit will be infused in your water, and you can now enjoy a flavored water, natural flavored water. So I know you're going to have a lot of fruits left over, and what you're going to do with these fruits, you can blend them up into another drink, or you can put them in your smoothies. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Fruit Blossoms JA, and you can also call us on 876-672-7259.
That's it for this season of the Ccrp Silver Club. Hope you enjoyed the episodes. Join us in our next season, where we will have more information about matters concerning you, our seniors. Ccrp Silver Club is sponsored by Ccrp, Digicel, NCB, Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, and JNGI.